Welcome to Primal Explorers. It's -30 and we have to start a fire, so we gotta get right to it. So we're starting with clearing an area, which is where it's gonna be the fire. Then we gotta get some wood, find some dry wood here. And this winter wonderland. And once we find the dry wood, we can start making tinder, or kindle, I don't even know anymore. And work our way upwards. I did find a nice piece of dry wood as I was walking here, so I moved it right over here. It's gonna be great to get some larger pieces out of for when we get the fire started. So let's get working. Here's a little tip. When you see these pine trees, you know, working their way up, often on the bottom of it, you're gonna have a lot of these branches, right? And these are usually, look at that, snap right off, usually dry. So we're gonna grab a couple of these because they're nice and small, so they're gonna be amazing. Yeah, we got plenty of things we can use for kindling now over there, but I don't want to put the fire directly on this because it's still kind of wet, you know. It's well, also cold. So we're gonna take this guy here of dry wood that I found, cut him up a bit, and create kind of like a base to build this fire on. And then in turn I'll also start burning and dry up this area too. So we got our base now. We'll place these down in a way that we can build up. See, and then we can build our fire right on here, which will be great. I will dig out a bit more of an area on the side, so I can place dry wood there, an area for me to hang out on that isn't on the snow, which is going to be a lot better to do. So I will do that first. Okay, filled out an area there. Got this here. Now I did bring some paper, because it's, you know, it's -30 right now, so it'll be a lot harder to do it. So I'm going to use paper for this. I'm going to place the paper down first on here, and then I'm going to put all that kindling on it. And then here's my goal. I have a fire starter and I got a lighter. Now lighters are cheap. Everyone should be able to have a lighter in their kit, but I'm going to try doing it with a fire starter before using the lighter and see how that goes. You guys hear that? Just listen to this. Silence. Winter is so peaceful. Having the snow is so peaceful. We have a cold snap right now. So last week was like 6 degrees. Now we went to, well, -30. So let's get this fire going, warm up a bit. Okay. Created this. It's very plain, very basic. I've got a lot more I can take here to add to it as I need to. A few bigger pieces when it gets going while I process the big pieces. But let's try to use that fire starter first. So I got my flint steel. Now, I've never actually started a fire with one of these. I'm doing it for the sake of the challenge. Usually I've always used a lighter. So let's just give this a go and see what we can do. Whew. It's difficult, really difficult, but the paper here has a few burns on it, so when the sparks hit, they burn really hot. That was close. Smoked for a bit. This is proving to be very difficult. I've made some progress here. If you look at it, like this is all burned, but it just wasn't enough to, I think, start that spark. Been at it for about 10 minutes now, which isn't too bad. Watched an episode of Survivor once, and it took him like 20 minutes. So I mean, as of right now, I'm doing pretty good for not knowing what I'm doing. But let's keep trying, I think. I'm kind of confident with this system. Okay, I'm going to use the lighter. I have given it a fair shot with this. I got pretty far. I learned a few things. That being said, it's getting kind of frosty, kind of chilly, and I want to warm up, so let's use a lighter for it. Actually, something seemed to have caught fire here. Briefly, at least. Maybe we're onto something. Okay, I've burritoed the wood here into the paper. Okay, let's try this again. Let's make some wood shavings with a knife and some wood. Some nice long ones. I'm gonna try to make a feather stick. That would be ideal. So, let's see how it goes. It's working well. All these low feathers, it makes it a lot easier for it to ignite, especially if this is dry. Being said, it's smoking quite a bit over there, but no flames. We got a little fire going. Let's see if we can keep it going. It's definitely a fire we got there. Let's hope it will stick. Well, we got a fire. That took way too long. Had to use this lighter. Having the GoPro on for so long, the battery's been drained for quite a bit. But I'm gonna build up this fire a bit now, so let's do that. I made quite a few mistakes when using the fire starter. I was kind of like thinking it over as I'm feeding the flames, and I think one of the mistakes, some snow fell. Some of the mistakes that I made was definitely, I kept the fire starter way too far away from where I want to start the fire. So when I'm near the end, right, when I started putting closer, it worked much better. That being said, I think the paper got pretty cold, and I think that didn't help at all. Because when I used more paper that was more hidden away with the lighter, it ignited pretty quick. But even when I used the lighter on the cold paper, it took a bit to burn, and it was more smoldering their way across. Now, that being said, the fire is going. We're gonna feed it, right? We're gonna burn away the wood we have left and just kind of chill by it for a bit. Let's have a look at this base here that I made at the beginning. Look how these are burnt up now. That side's still kind of good. And yeah, it's nice and dry underneath now. Let's open it up a bit. There we go. Well, it's time to go. And what's important is when we go is this extinguishing the fire. So let's get these gloves on. So I left the fire on burning so we can kind of show up much better. We have a shovel, we have a lot of snow. So first we're gonna bury it in snow. You can hear the sizzling. Okay. It's buried. I'm gonna step on it a bit. That's our fire. That was a good time. Kept me warm, because whenever I left too far away from it, I'll get pretty chilly. So it was very nice to have. I'm so happy I managed to make it too. I want to practice with a fire starter, but we gotta wait till winter's over. I don't have the skills for that yet, but I will get there. That I can tell you. You know, I love winter because it's always so peaceful, and anything you do outside in the winter just to me feels way more adventurous, like we're supposed to be there. So nice. And as we're, you know, just having our fire, chilling out, the trees, snow would just randomly fall and create kind of like a mist, and it was always really pretty to see. And kind of surprising too when all of a sudden you hear a thump. Well, looking at it, the battery's almost dead too. That's what the cold weather does. There you have it. -30, fire. Till next time, thanks for watching.